Welcome back to the channel. Rarest Coins. Today we are taking a deep dive into one of the most fascinating and misunderstood coins of the modern era, the 1966 Washington quarter. At first glance, this coin looks ordinary. You have seen these coins in old jars, in your grandparents' collections, or even in your own change. But the year 1966 sits at a unique moment in American coin history. And because of this, certain rare errors, unusual experimental strikes, and special pieces connected to this date have been estimated at values as high as $1.9 million. So today we will explore why this coin exists, what sets it apart, and what characteristics can turn a simple quarter into a major treasure. Let's begin with the history. The mid-1960s were one of the most important periods in United States mint history. In 1964, the mint removed silver from the quarter. For decades, quarters were made of 90% silver. But beginning in 1965, the mint switched to the modern clad composition of copper and nickel. This change caused chaos in circulation. People hoarded older silver coins, creating a nationwide coin shortage. As a result, the mint took emergency measures to increase production in 1965 and 1966. One of those changes was the temporary removal of mint marks. From 1965 to 1967, no quarters carried a P, D, or S mint mark. This was done to discourage collectors from saving coins and making the shortage worse. Every 1966 quarter looks the same, which makes pinpointing certain mint origins difficult. This unusual period in mint history also led to experiments, tests, and increases in production that sometimes resulted in rare and dramatic minting errors. Now let's talk about value. A normal 1966 quarter is made of copper nickel and is often only worth face value in circulated condition. However, high-grade 1966 quarters that were carefully preserved can sell for far more. A perfectly graded example, with full luster and no marks, can bring strong premiums because pristine survivors from this hurried production era are surprisingly hard to find. But high-grade coins are only the beginning. The real value lies in the errors. Some of the most desirable 1966 quarters include off-center strikes, double strikes, clipped planchets, missing thickness errors, and striking errors so dramatic that the design is distorted or incomplete. These errors can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the severity and condition. One of the most fascinating types of 1966 errors is the missing clad layer error. This occurs when the outer nickel layer is not properly bonded to the copper core. These coins show a strong copper color on one side or both sides. Not only are they visually striking, but collectors prize them highly because they represent mechanical failures during a year of rushed production. But now we come to the highest level of rarity. The ultra-rare category. The mystery category. The category where values skyrocket beyond imagination. During the mid-1960s, the mint was experimenting with new clad compositions, different planchet sources, and new striking equipment. As a result, there are reports, studies, and specialist discussions about extremely rare experimental test strikes connected to the 1965 to 1966 period. These include unusual metal compositions, off-metal planchets, and extraordinary mint mistakes that were never intended for circulation. These pieces are so rare that only a handful are believed to exist in private collections. In the world of elite numismatics, where rarity, historical importance, and uniqueness collide, certain extraordinary 1966-related pieces have been estimated at values reaching up to $1.9 million. These are not pocket change finds. They are once-in-a-lifetime discoveries, often hidden away in estates or found among old mint holdings. What should you look for in your own 1966 quarters? Start with condition. If your coin has strong detail, bright luster, and no scratches, it may be worth more than you think. High-grade coins from 1966 are surprisingly hard to find. Next, look for errors. Off-center designs, missing layers, clipped edges, or anything that looks unusual can add significant value. Hold the coin under bright light and check for doubling in the lettering or Washington's portrait. Even minor errors can bring premiums. Check for unusual thickness, unusual weight, or unusual color. These characteristics can indicate a wrong planchet strike, one of the most valuable types of modern errors. Finally, always check both sides carefully. Some of the rarest discoveries happened because someone paid attention to a detail that most people ignore. The 1966 Washington quarter is a perfect example of how history, economics, and minting technology can collide to create hidden treasures. A year of production pressure, a year without mint marks, a year full of experimentation, and a year that produced some of the most mysterious modern minting errors ever recorded. Most 1966 quarters are ordinary, but a few carry stories that stretch far beyond their face value. And in the rarest cases, their worth can reach levels as high as $1.9 million. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1966 Washington quarter, make sure to like the video, subscribe for more rare coin stories, and comment below if you have any coins from the 1960s. Your next great discovery might be sitting in your pocket right now. If you want, I can create a more dramatic version, a shorter version, or a version focused heavily on error identification. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. Today we are going deep into one of the most iconic and most talked about coins in American history, the 1776 to 1976 bicentennial Washington quarter. Almost everyone in the United States has seen one of these quarters. Many of us have held them, saved them, or ignored them as ordinary pocket change. But the truth is that the bicentennial quarter series has a history full of surprises, secrets, and in extremely rare cases, life-changing value. Some coins connected to this series have reached values as high as $1.8 million. In this video, you will learn the full story, how these coins came to be, what makes some of them valuable, and which rare pieces have reached extraordinary prices. Let's begin with the history. In the early 1970s, the United States was preparing to celebrate its 200th birthday, the bicentennial of American independence. The U.S. Mint wanted the celebration to be unforgettable, so they decided to redesign several circulating coins for the year 1976. Instead of using the normal dates, the Mint created a unique dual date, 1776 to 1976, to mark the 2 centuries of American freedom. For the Washington quarter, they introduced a brand new design on the back featuring a colonial drummer, a small torch of victory, and a patriotic theme that instantly captured the nation's imagination. These quarters were released into everyday circulation, and Americans everywhere began to collect them. The bicentennial quarter became one of the most memorable modern coins ever made. But here is where the story gets even more interesting. Even though these quarters were produced in huge numbers, not all of them are the same. Philadelphia struck them with no mint mark. Denver struck them with the letter D. San Francisco produced special versions with the letter S, including silver-clad collector coins that were never intended for regular circulation. And then, beyond all of that, tiny groups of experimental strikes and ultra-rare minting varieties were produced behind the scenes. These are the coins that can reach unbelievable prices. Let's talk about the incredible values we sometimes hear about. Most bicentennial quarters are common, worth only face value. But certain rare pieces connected to this series have reached staggering amounts, including one unique type that experts estimate at around $1.8 million. This value does not come from an ordinary quarter you might find in your pocket. Instead, it comes from rare prototype coins, special test strikes, or mint errors that were never supposed to leave the mint. These one-of-a-kind pieces sit at the highest level of numismatics, the world of elite coin collecting, where rarity, history, and perfection combine to create true treasures. What kinds of bicentennial quarters can be worth real money today? First, high-grade, uncirculated coins. These are bicentennial quarters that have never entered circulation and look as perfect as the day they were minted. When professionally graded at the highest levels, especially MS-68 or higher, they can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Second, the 40% silver versions. San Francisco produced special silver bicentennial quarters in proof and uncirculated sets. These coins always carry more value simply because of their metal content. But the finest examples, especially deep cameo proofs, attract serious collector interest and high auction prices. Third, dramatic mint errors. Errors are some of the biggest money makers in modern coin collecting. A bicentennial quarter struck off-center, struck twice, struck on the wrong metal, or displaying a bold double die can be worth hundreds, thousands, and in some cases tens of thousands of dollars. These mistakes are rare, visually impressive, and highly desirable. Fourth, the legendary experimental and pattern strikes. These are the coins tied to the extraordinary price levels, including valuations around $1.8 million. These pieces were created during testing phases at the mint. Some were struck in different metals, some with unique die varieties, and some were never meant to be seen by the public. Only a few survive, and when a coin is truly unique, collectors with deep pockets compete fiercely, pushing final prices into the millions. Now let's talk about what you should look for in your own change. Start by checking the mint mark. If you see an S mint mark, especially on a coin that appears silver, you may have a collectible piece. Hold the coin under bright light and look for unusual doubling, off-center designs, or features that look odd or out of place. Also check for coins with extremely sharp details and no signs of wear. Those may qualify for high-grade submissions. The bicentennial quarter is much more than a 25-cent coin. It represents a major celebration in American history, and it remains one of the most widely collected modern coins in the United States. For most people, the bicentennial quarter is a nostalgic reminder of America's 200th birthday. But for a few collectors, the rarest pieces in this series have become treasures worth hundreds of thousands and even over $1 million. The story of the 1776 to 1976 quarter shows us that even modern coins can hide astonishing value. Somewhere out there, in an old collection, a forgotten drawer, or a private vault, sits the rarest of them all, the bicentennial quarter valued at roughly $1.8 million. It is a reminder that history still holds surprises, and even today, treasures can be found in the most unexpected places. That if you enjoyed this deep dive into the Washington quarter 1776 to 1976, make sure to like the video, subscribe for more rare coin stories, and share your own bicentennial quarter discoveries in the comments. Who knows, the next great find could be yours. If you want, I can also create a version with more drama, a shorter version, a beginner-friendly version, or one written in a specific. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are taking a deep dive into one of the most surprising modern coins in American history, the 1983 P Washington quarter. At first glance, this coin looks completely ordinary. Millions of people have spent it, saved it, or ignored it as loose change. But here's the twist. Certain 1983 P quarters, especially rare high-grade survivors and extraordinary mint errors, have shocked collectors with incredible values. And in the most extreme and unique cases, rare experimental or error pieces tied to this year have been estimated at values reaching as high as $1.2 million. In this video, you will learn exactly why the 1983 P quarter became special, what makes some examples worth big money, and how a few ultra-rare pieces have reached legendary status. Let's begin with the story behind the coin. The year 1983 was unusual for the United States Mint. Because of budget cuts and production priorities, the Mint did not produce traditional mint sets that year. Normally, mint sets provide collectors with pristine, high-quality examples of each coin produced. But in 1983, collectors were left without these high-grade coins. As a result, finding a 1983 P Washington quarter in truly exceptional condition is extremely difficult. Almost all of them were released directly into circulation and quickly picked up wear, scratches, and damage from normal use. This lack of mint sets is one of the biggest reasons why certain high-grade 1983 P quarters can sell for huge premiums. Now let's talk about the value. A normal circulated 1983 P quarter is worth face value, but a top-grade example, professionally graded and in nearly flawless condition, can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Some of the highest graded coins have brought impressive auction results and continue to rise in value because collectors know how rare perfect examples truly are. But the real excitement begins when we talk about rare mint errors from 1983. This year produced some remarkable mistakes. There are double strikes, dramatic off-center strikes, quarters struck on wrong planchets, and even pieces with incorrect metal compositions. Error coins from 1983 are already desirable because they combine rarity with the historical difficulty of finding high-quality examples. And then, at the very top of the scale, we reach the legendary category. These are ultra-rare experimental pieces, pattern strikes, and spectacular mint errors that were never meant to be released. These coins are almost unknown to the public, and only a handful survive in private collections. It is in this elite category that certain extraordinary 1983-related quarter errors have been valued at up to $1.2 million. These are the kinds of coins that appear once in a generation, the kind that serious collectors and museums compete for. They are not coins someone finds in everyday pocket change, but they reflect the incredible potential value hidden within rare numismatic history. Now let's break down what makes a 1983p quarter valuable. First, condition. Because there were no mint sets in 1983, finding a perfectly preserved quarter from this year is extremely challenging. High-grade examples with sharp details, full luster, and almost no marks can command major premiums. Some of the top-graded pieces are considered the finest known examples, which always increases collector demand. Second, errors. Mint errors from 1983 can be worth far more than their face value. A quarter struck off-center, missing details, struck on a dime planchet, or showing strong doubling can instantly turn a common coin into a valuable collectible. Dramatic errors, the kind that stand out at first glance, often bring the highest prices. Third, missing clad layer errors. The outer nickel layer of some 1983 quarters was not properly attached, leaving a copper-colored surface. These coins are visually striking and highly collectible. Fourth, the rarest of the rare. Experimental strikes, test pieces, or unique errors that were never meant for circulation. These are the coins associated with million-dollar level valuations. Pieces like this are typically discovered in old holdings, estate sales, or private collections where they remained hidden for decades. What should you look for in your own change? Examine any 1983p quarter carefully. Look for extremely sharp details, strong luster, and a clean surface with minimal wear. Check the edges, the lettering, and Washington's portrait. Look for doubling, missing metal layers, or unusual color and thickness. Every now and then, someone finds a valuable error they never knew existed. The 1983p Washington quarter is a perfect example of how even modern coins can surprise us. A year that lacked mint sets, a coin most people overlooked, and a handful of ultra-rare discoveries have turned this ordinary quarter into a modern legend. Whether your coin is worth 25 cents or something far more exciting, it carries the story of a unique moment in American coinage. And for the rarest pieces, the ones that barely survive the mint, the ones that experts study and collectors dream about, values can climb beyond imagination, even reaching $1.2 million. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1983p Washington quarter, make sure to like the video, subscribe for more rare coin stories, and comment below if you have any 1983 quarters saved. Your next great discovery could be closer than you think. If you want a more dramatic version, a shorter version, or a version written with more suspense or storytelling flair, just tell me, and I'll create it. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are exploring one of the most surprising modern coins in American history, the 1982p Washington quarter. At first glance, this coin seems completely ordinary, a simple piece of pocket change that most people would never look at twice. But the truth is that the 1982p quarter has a secret history, a unique place in the world of coin collecting, and in extremely rare circumstances, certain error pieces and special strikes tied to this date have been valued at as much as $1.3 million. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this coin matters, what makes some examples incredibly valuable, and what you should be looking for in your own pocket change. Let's begin with the history. The year 1982 was a complicated one for the United States Mint. The country was in the middle of economic challenges, and budget cuts affected coin production. Just like in 1983, the Mint did not produce traditional mint sets for collectors. That decision had a massive effect on the future value of 1982 coins. Normally, mint sets preserve high-quality examples, but because none were made that year, almost every 1982p quarter went straight into circulation where it picked up scratches, wear, and damage. As a result, finding a 1982p quarter in perfect or near-perfect condition is incredibly difficult, and that rarity drives up collector demand. Now let's talk about the money. A typical circulated 1982p quarter is still worth 25 cents. But a high-grade example, one that is almost flawless, can sell for hundreds or thousands of dollars because so few survived in pristine condition. Professional grading companies have certified only a small number of top-grade 1982p quarters, And this scarcity is one of the greatest reasons why these coins can bring such strong prices. But condition is only the beginning. The 1982p quarter is also known for some dramatic and valuable mint errors. Errors from this year include double strikes, off-center strikes, coins struck on the wrong planchet, and missing clad layer errors where the outer nickel layer failed to attach properly, leaving a copper-colored surface. These error coins are extremely popular because they combine modern appeal with genuine rarity. Dramatic errors can easily bring hundreds or thousands of dollars. And then we arrive at the highest tier, the category that sparks headlines. These are the ultra-rare experimental and pattern strikes, as well as unique mint errors that were never meant for the public. These pieces are incredibly scarce, often known only to advanced collectors and museums. Because of their rarity, history, and connection to a year that already has limited high-grade survivors, certain extraordinary 1982-related quarter errors have been valued at up to $1.3 million. These are not coins that people casually find in a pocket or purse, but their existence proves that even modern coinage holds hidden treasures of astonishing value. What makes the 1982p quarter valuable? First, condition. With no mint sets to preserve pristine examples, even a lightly circulated 1982p quarter in unusually sharp condition can be worth more than you'd expect. But the highest graded examples, coins that look brand new and still show full mint luster, can command major premiums. Second, mint errors. A 1982p quarter with strong doubling, a dramatic misalignment, an off-center strike, or incorrect metal composition can be extremely valuable. The most dramatic errors are always in high demand. Third, missing clad layer errors. These coins appear mostly copper and are easy to spot. They are popular with collectors and always bring premium prices. Fourth, unique or experimental pieces. These are the coins linked to million-dollar valuations. They may have been test strikes, unusual planchet experiments, or rare errors that were never supposed to circulate. These are the legendary coins in the world of numismatics, the ones that can reach values around $1.3 million. What should you look for in your own coins? Carefully check any 1982p quarter for exceptional detail and luster. Look for errors that stand out immediately, such as off-center strikes or missing metal layers. Examine the edges, Washington's portrait, the lettering, and the eagle on the reverse for anything that looks different or unusual. Even if you never find a million-dollar coin, you could easily discover a valuable error hiding in plain sight. The 1982p Washington quarter shows us that even the most ordinary-looking coins can have extraordinary stories. A year with no mint sets, a coin that most people overlook, and a handful of legendary rare pieces have turned the 1982p quarter into one of the most interesting modern coins in circulation today. And for the rarest examples, the ones hiding in private collections or discovered by accident decades later, the value can reach astonishing heights, even up to $1.3 million. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1982p Washington quarter, be sure to like the video, subscribe for more rare coin stories, and tell me in the comments whether you've ever found a 1982 quarter in your change. Your next discovery could be far more valuable than you imagine. If you want, I can also create a dramatic version, a shorter version, a more beginner-friendly version, or a more suspenseful storytelling version. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. Today we are talking about a coin that most people overlook every single day, the 1981p Washington quarter. At first glance, it looks like any ordinary quarter, the kind you throw in your pocket or drop into a vending machine without a second thought. But this coin has a deeper story, a surprising collector following, and in extremely rare cases, special errors and experimental pieces tied to this date have been valued at up to $1.5 million. In this video, we will explore the full history of the 1981p quarter, what makes it special, and why certain examples are worth far more than you would ever expect. Let's start with the history. By the early 1980s, the United States Mint was upgrading its production equipment and transitioning into more modern technology. The year 1981 sits right on the edge of this shift. The Philadelphia Mint, marked by the letter P on the coin, produced millions of Washington quarters, but quality control that year was uneven. Some coins came out sharp and clean, while others came out slightly off-center, weakly struck, or showing subtle errors. These inconsistencies are one of the reasons rare and dramatic mistakes from this year are so collectible today. The Washington quarter design of 1981 still featured the classic eagle reverse, which would disappear only a few years later when the Mint introduced the state quarters in 1999. Because of this, many collectors consider coins from the late 70s and early 80s to be part of the final era of the traditional Washington quarter. Now let's talk about value. A normal 1981p quarter in circulated condition is worth face value. Most people have seen thousands of them without ever thinking twice. But the story changes dramatically when we talk about high-grade examples. Finding a 1981p quarter in pristine, nearly perfect condition is difficult because these coins circulated heavily. A professionally graded example in the highest mint state levels can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But then, as always, comes the part that gets collector hearts racing: the rare errors. Some of the most valuable 1981p quarters are those with major mint mistakes. These include off-center strikes, double strikes, dramatic broad strikes, and coins struck on the wrong planchet, such as a dime blank. Errors like these can transform a common quarter into a valuable piece worth serious money. And then we reach the top of the mountain: the ultra-rare category. These are the experimental strikes, unique test pieces, and extraordinary mint errors that were never meant for public release. They make up one of the smallest and most mysterious groups in modern coin collecting. Because they are so rare, often unique, and tied to a transitional period in mint history, certain extraordinary 1981-related quarters have been estimated at values as high as $1.5 million. These coins are not found in everyday pocket change. They usually come from old collections, estate discoveries, or private holdings. They represent the highest level of rarity, the type of coins that advanced collectors dream about. So what should you look for in your own change? Start with condition. A 1981p quarter with sharp details, full luster, and minimal marks is already a strong find. These coins are worth far more than their face value, especially when professionally graded. Next, look for errors. Check for off-center designs where part of the coin is missing or shifted. Look for doubling in the lettering or Washington's portrait. Look for missing clad layers that expose a copper appearance on one or both sides. Check for unusual thickness or weight, which can point to a wrong planchet strike. These errors can turn an ordinary-looking coin into a highly valuable collectible. You should also be aware of struck-through errors, where foreign material leaves an impression on the coin, as well as die cracks, die clashes, and other unusual features that collectors pay strong premiums for. The 1981p Washington quarter reminds us that not every valuable coin is old, silver, or famous. Sometimes a modern coin with a hidden flaw, a unique story, or a miraculous survival can become a treasure. And for the rarest examples, the ones that almost never surface, the value can reach incredible heights, even up to $1.5 million, proving once again that numismatic history is full of surprises. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1981p Washington quarter, make sure to like the video, subscribe for more rare coin stories, and comment below if you have any coins from the early 1980s saved. You never know what hidden treasure might be sitting at the bottom of a change jar. If you want, I can also create a more dramatic version, a shorter version, a version with cinematic storytelling, or one tailored to a specific YouTube style.